Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and brought to you with emotion, passion, honesty, and of course, my comments along with yours. You can check us out on the MHRT Network, which this is, as well as my show on Broncos Breakdown on YouTube. Welcome, guys, each and every one of you, wherever you may be, whether you may be in the chat, you're listening, you're watching, whatever you're doing. Thank you so very, very much for being a part of this show. Guys, I hope each and every one of you had a safe week as we head into week 2 of the NFL season, the Broncos season as well, playing the Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday. We'll get into that. But we have a lot to touch on. We have another triple jackass of the week. Unfortunately, one of them involves Shannon Sharpe. We will get into that as we get along with the show. Let's bring up the topics, guys, so you can see what the topics are. And there it is. You will notice that I'm going to do a recap of this is going to, take place throughout my, throughout the show, throughout the entire season, I should say. A recap to start the show and a prediction at the end of the show for the upcoming game, the following, whether it be a following Sunday, whether it be a Monday, Sunday night, whatever. All right. If it was a Thursday, obviously it'd be, a recap of the Thursday game. All right. Okay, guys, like I said, thanks so much for being in the chat. Thanks so much. Tongue-tied already. Thanks so much for your support, and really do appreciate it. All right, let's get right into it. Broncos Seahawks recap, Game 1, 2024 NFL season. All right, now I don't want to really bang on Bo Nix, although he did make some rookie mistakes, and I know that's going to happen. But the thing that bothers me the most in that game was how badly Sean Payton got outcoached. And not only did he get outcoached, he got outcoached by a rookie head coach in Seattle. Rookie head coach. He made adjustments at halftime. Sean Payton didn't. Stuck with his game plan, and it was a horrible game plan. We couldn't run the ball. Passing was basically non-existent. I mean, Bo Nix was doing what he could to pass the ball. Receivers were dropping the passes. The balls were not getting there. They were being thrown into double and triple coverage, in which Bo Nix had 2 interceptions, one into double coverage, one into triple coverage, and one down in the red zone area. It was picked off at the 1-yard line. It's just, I understand Bo Nix is going to make mistakes. I understand that. I get that. Oh, let me click on that. Sorry about that, the recap. I understand he's going to make mistakes. But at the same time, if you're throwing the ball into double coverage, why are you doing it? Just run the ball. Just get out of harm's way. Get rid of the ball. Throw it incomplete. Throw it out of bounds. I know he has to learn the NFL type of rules. Didn't he have all the offseason to practice this? Didn't he have all the coaching that goes along with this is what you do in the NFL and that's what you don't do? I mean, it just seems strange to me that in the very first game he would make those big a blunder as a rookie. Now, yes, rookies will make mistakes. I understand that. But the thing that bothers me the most is Sean Payton's ineptness or lack of desire to make changes at halftime. Maybe he didn't make changes because he felt like Bo Nix couldn't adapt to it. I don't know. He keeps saying that Bo Nix is way ahead of the game when it comes to, being a rookie quarterback. And I also understand that Sean Payton has never had to have a rookie quarterback to start in a season. He didn't have that with Drew Brees, and he didn't have that anytime during Drew Brees' time in New Orleans. I understand that. But hey, man, you got to adapt. You have to adapt. And I'm a little leery I'm kind of wondering, I should say, if Sean Payton's game plan and system of doing things in the NFL as a head coach has passed him by. Has the NFL passed him by? Has the NFL, the way the NFL does things, has the NFL passed him by? Kind of wondering. I mean, if a rookie head coach in Seattle can pull the wool over Sean Payton's eyes, who's been a head coach for 11 seasons, 10 with New Orleans, 1 for Denver, that's his second one in Denver, can get out-coached, that's alarming, guys. That is alarming. Why? Because guess who Denver plays this week? Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's no rookie head coach in Pittsburgh. None whatsoever. And if he gets out-coached again this week, that's a huge problem. A huge problem. And it's one that is not going to go away anytime soon should that occur. He has to figure out how to get back on track, how he has to get the offense on track. We'll get into all of that in this show, guys. We'll get into all of that. But wrapping up the recap of Seattle and Denver. Final score was Seattle 26, Denver 20. Denver had a chance to win this game. It just wasn't going to happen because like I said, we couldn't run the ball. We got out coached the second half, and we just fell short. There's no two ways about it. No two ways about it. All right, guys, let's go to the second topic, and this one is interesting. I never knew this before. I mean, there's usually almost every year there's something that the NFL has never seen before. And the Denver Broncos did something in game 1 against Seattle that the NFL has never seen before. Well, let's get right to that. All right. Denver Broncos made history against the Seattle Seahawks. Scoring 20 points? No. They've scored 20 points many times. Scored 26-20? No. That's been done many, many times. Here is what hasn't been done before in the NFL until last Sunday. Here it is. When the Denver Broncos played the Seattle Seahawks to open their season, Denver achieved an NFL first. Never before has the NFL seen 1, 2, 3 in scoring. What does that mean? Let me explain. 1 touchdown, 2 safeties, and 3 field goals for a final of 20 Bronco points. That has never happened before in the history of NFL. Okay? Think about it, guys. A touchdown is 7. 2 safeties is 4. That's 11. Yeah, that's 11. And then 3 field goals is 6. Or excuse me, 3 field goals is 9. So 11 and 9, 20 points. Denver loses 26-20. That's never happened before in the history of the NFL that a team has gotten 1 touchdown, 2 safeties, and 3 field goals in the same game. And I kind of wonder, obviously, since that's not happened, I mean, you can't even say that that the team that got those 20 points that way ever won the game, because it's never happened to be that way before. So that was very interesting. I came across that earlier in the week, and I thought, wow, that's interesting. Never heard that before. Never heard that before. All right. Now, we are going to get into the third topic, which is, hang on, I'll get to it right now. We move on to the third topic. Okay. This one is Deshaun Watson. Now, if you look down a little bit, 1, 2, 3 segments below this one, which is the third one, so the sixth segment, that says Watson lawsuit, NFL investigation. That's going to be coupled into the Deshaun Watson's first of, again, 3 more from that. Like I had 3 last week, 3 more this week, Jackass of the Week. So since it is a Jackass of the Week, let me play that intro.
You suck, you jackass.
All right. This is the first one, Deshaun Watson. There is a former Bronco player, Hall of Famer, and Super Bowl champion, also one of the Jackass of the Week. That one's going to be hard to bring because it's one of the guys I really love, former Bronco, instrumental in Broncos back-to-back championships. It just rips me apart. But hey, I can't be biased. I mean, I can't sit there and say, oh, I got to ignore any Bronco player or any former Bronco player that's a jackass of the week. But, you know, I just push that aside. I can't do that. I just can't do that. That just wouldn't be me. Okay? Just wouldn't be me. Before I get into the Deshaun Watson, let me get into the chat real quick. Clayton Haran says, hey, guys. I said, hey, what's up, Clayton? Nice to have you in the chat as always. Kamani Dixon batting second says, hey, Hitman Bill, how you doing? How is your mother-in-law? She doing fine? She made some food for tonight, so I'll be eating that after I do the show. Some Mexican rice, along with some zucchini and chicken and some other stuff. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. Clayton follows up what he said with, hey, guys, if folks have smashed that like button and share, guys. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Clayton also says it's bow time, baby. Well, let's hope he can do that next week or 2 days from now, I should say. Let's hope he can do that. Steelers are a tough team. I know they beat a very weak Atlanta team. What's his name? Oh God. I can't remember his name. The quarterback for Atlanta, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins did not look good at all. He didn't look good in that game. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, Atlanta didn't win that game. I wanted them to, you know, for Justin Simmons' sake, but they looked pretty bad. They looked pretty bad. Clayton says, great weekend coming up. Badgers Saturday, my little boy's birthday. He's turning 6, soccer game, and going to be on Channel 6 Fox News for birthday. Oh, sweet, dude. Sweet. That's awesome, man. Congratulations, Clayton, on your little boy, on your little guy. That's great, man. That's awesome. That's totally cool, man. I wish you all the best. You got to take pictures, man. Well, I know you will. But take pictures, record the video, whatever you got to do, man. That is a treasure. That's a lifetime. Yeah, way to go, man. That is so totally cool, man. Congratulations, Clayton, and your 6-year-old to be son. That's awesome. Come on, tell her I said hello. All right, I sure will. I sure will, man. Sure will. All right, let's get into the first jackass of 3 this week. Here it is. Deshaun Watson is back on the wrong side of his career, so to speak. Last Monday, a new lawsuit has been filed accusing Watson of sexual assault. Really? Like he's never had that before? Yeah, okay. Of sexual assault and battery in 2022 when he was with the Texans. Now, I understand, guys, we're in 2024. A lot of these women don't want to come forward because they're afraid. And I'm not female. I haven't had anybody in my family that's had to deal with anything like this. But I understand hearing from people saying, you know, I just don't want, you know, to, I just don't want, you know, to say anything. I'm embarrassed. Shouldn't happen. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the reason is, I feel guilty. Maybe it was my fault. Oh, I don't know. Whatever it is. God, guys, I got something in my eye. All right. So let me continue. The lawsuit states that Watson met a woman, a single mom. He got her phone number and wanted a date. Okay. All well and good. On with most normal people. Instead, the woman didn't want to meet in public. No, wait a minute. What woman ever meets somebody and doesn't want to meet in public? Everybody that I know, and not that I've done it because I haven't, but everybody that I know, friends of mine, stuff, I say, hey, man, how'd you meet your wife? How'd you meet your girlfriend? How'd you meet your fiance? Whatever. Oh, you know, I met her and saw her at the store, you know, started talking, asked her if she'd like to go on a date. And she said, yeah, you know, but let's meet at a public place, like a restaurant or something like that. You don't meet privately. That's just disaster waiting to happen. So she set it up wrongly. But that doesn't condone what Deshaun Watson did. Let me continue. The woman didn't want to meet in public, so she agreed to a dinner date at her apartment. Wrong, 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 wrong. Has this woman ever heard Deshaun Watson and his past? Does she even know who this guy is? Maybe he didn't even give his correct name. I don't know. Doesn't say. Why would you agree to a date of dinner at your apartment one-on-one? You just met this guy. Now, it didn't say how long they've known each other, how long they dated, if they dated, whatever. Didn't say that. That's not the point, right? Here we go. Let me continue. Gets worse, like always with Deshaun Watson. The lawsuit continues that while the woman was applying makeup in her bedroom, she found Watson completely naked on her bed, lying face down on his stomach. Really? Would he have done that in a public restaurant? No. Let me continue. Watson then requested the woman massage his butt, and the woman rubbed his back instead. Okay, that's a good move, but shouldn't have done it anyways, but okay, let me continue. Watson disrobed the woman partially and penetrated her without consent. Watson also sexually assaulted the woman for several minutes before she escaped and grabbed a heavy object to protect herself. Watson then stormed out of the apartment. Was he naked? Did he grab his clothes? Did he get dressed quick? Hey, hold on. Before you hit me with whatever you got, let me get dressed so I can get the heck out of here. Doesn't say. Just said he grabbed. It just says he grabbed, or she grabbed a heavy object, and Watson then stormed out of the apartment. The Cleveland Browns did not respond to a request for comment. Of course they didn't. Of course they did. They've had to deal with this before. Cleveland's not innocent in this. Cleveland Browns are not innocent in this. They knew what they were getting in Deshaun Watson. And I mentioned it before when all of this happened. Not this allegation, but the one when he was on the Texans and Cleveland decided, well, we're going to overlook that because we want a guy that can get us in the Super Bowl. We need a guy that can get us a Super Bowl championship. Watson hasn't done that. Not the last time I checked it. They haven't been to the Super Bowl. So is this the nail in the coffin? No pun intended. Is this the nail in the coffin that's going to put Deshaun Watson out of the NFL? Well, let me get into that. Because here is the second part of the Deshaun Watson. If you look down, like I said, if you look down, several says Watson lawsuit, NFL investigation. That's all part. I'm putting this in here instead of a little bit later down the road. So let me get into that. Last Monday, the NFL said they are reviewing the latest lawsuit filed against Deshaun Watson. And I quote from the NFL, "We are reviewing the complaint and we will look into the matter under the personal conduct policy," end quote. In a statement to ESPN, a Cleveland Brown spokesperson said, and I quote, "We will respect the due process our legal system affords regarding the recently filed civil suit and follow the NFL's guidelines on this matter," end quote. Okay, follow them. Do your due diligence this time, Cleveland. Get rid of this guy. He's a cancer in the NFL. He's a cancer in the locker room. And I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan. I can't stand the Cleveland Browns. Can't stand them at all. But my point is this. If you have somebody like this that is not a first-time offender, a multiple time, and now a second lawsuit against him in different allegations, you've got to take action, Cleveland. You've got to take action. You need to cut him. If you don't do it, hopefully the NFL will suspend him indefinitely. We cannot put up with this stuff. I know, guys, it wasn't done. It wasn't done, to an NFL, sideline reporter or somebody, a person in the press or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's being done over and over by this guy. This guy has a very serious problem. Watson has a very serious problem. And the NFL needs to deal with it, and they need to deal with it harshly. They have to. You cannot allow things like this to continue. You can't. This cannot be condoned by the NFL. It can't be condoned by the Cleveland Browns. But when there's money involved and a possibility of having one or two or multiple people on your organization get you to the promised land, so to speak, ownership and GMs and everybody else has a tendency to go, I never saw that. I never saw it. Okay, we'll just let it go. Hey, he didn't do that here. He did that when he was on the Texans. It doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. It does matter because this guy has an issue. Issues. He has problems. And he needs to have it dealt with. And the NFL needs to come down extremely hard on this guy. Extremely hard on everybody in the NFL or in the sports world, any sports world that deals with issues like this. Okay? I don't know why it's football players that seem to have more issues of doing the wrong thing than baseball players or basketball players or hockey players. I don't know. Is it the headshots they take? Is it the constant beating on their body? Is it the aggressiveness of the nature of the sport? I don't know. But it's sure not welcome. Not welcome in my circles. Not welcome where I stand. Not welcome where I think about. But I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Crazy, man. Crazy. All right. Let's go to the second jackass of the week. And let me introduce that with the intro.
You suck, you jackass.
All right. This one involves a Miami Dolphin wide receiver. And we all know who that is. Tyreek Hill. Here we go. Last Sunday, before the Miami Dolphins game, wide receiver Where'd my internet go? Okay. About a block from the stadium. Oh, let me ask you guys this question. A block from the stadium and you're speeding? I've never been to a stadium where a block away you can just fly as fast as you want because traffic is slowing down. There's police. They're channeling you into a row or a couple of rows, or they're directing you. Okay, go this way or whatever. Come this way, whatever. They're doing that to direct you in the place you need to go. Now, yes, athletes may go into a different. Obviously, they go into a different entrance. Okay, that still doesn't mean you speed a block before the stadium. Why would you even do that? Was Tyreek Hill late? Well, that doesn't excuse him. So what if you're late? Doesn't matter. You should be more on time, you freaking moron. Okay, that's if you're late. Okay, I'm just saying. People who are late don't use their head. Leave early. Well, I didn't expect there would be a whole lot of traffic. Come on, everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got GPS. Look on there. What does Google show? What does Google Maps show? What does whatever show? Whatever traffic app you have or anybody has. You look at that. I do it all the time. Look at, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go this route because there's a lot of traffic there, or there's an accident or whatever. There's no excuse for speeding a block from the stadium. All right, let me get into that. Let me get into this topic. All right. Okay. When Hill didn't cooperate with the police, he was pulled out of the car and placed face down on the pavement and handcuffed. People have asked, what did he do wrong? Well, the police pulled him over. He pulls over. They tell him to roll his window down. First and foremost, he has blacked out windows in the driver's and passenger side front seat area. Okay. So they asked him to roll his window down. He didn't roll it down. They asked him again to roll his window down. They're tapping on the window. Roll your window down. Tapping on the car. Roll your window down. Open the door. Didn't do it. So the police opened the door. And they said, come on. They said, get out. He wouldn't get out. Didn't cooperate. So they pulled him out. I'm not condoning any police brutality, but I saw a video and there is no police brutality from what I saw. They pulled him out, yes, because he did not cooperate. When I've been pulled over many times when I was a teenager in early 20s, okay? Not many times, but I mean, you know, a little bit here for speeding and things like that, you know, just basically speeding. Okay. Now, every time a police officer came up to me and tapped on my shoulder, and I've had several, you know, African-American cops that have pulled me over, they tap on the window. Before they even tap on it, I roll the window down because I know what I'm supposed to do. Does Tyreek Hill like have a legitimate driver's license? Does he not know what he's supposed to do when the police pull you over? Why would you act like this? Why would you act like this? Okay, let me continue because it gets interesting. Listen to this. He said, Hill said last Wednesday that, and I quote, "I will say I could have been better." You think? Of course you could. I continue. "I could have let down my window, which you should have in that instant. But the thing about me is I don't want attention." What? You don't want attention? Hold on a second. If you didn't want attention, why were you speeding? Because when you're speeding, you're going to get the attention of the police. Okay? So if you don't want attention, why are you causing attention? And you're a wide receiver in the NFL Miami Dolphins. You don't want attention? Then why do you want the ball thrown to you? Because you want attention. You want people to appreciate what you're doing. That's having attention. Tyreek, you're way out of bounds here, man. You're way out in left field. You're not getting it. He says, and I'm still quoting, let me go back to that. He said, I could have let my window down in that instant, but the thing about me is I don't want attention. Okay, no, let me continue. I'm still quoting Tyreek Hill. "I don't want to be cameras out, phones on you in that moment. Then don't do something stupid, because that's the society now. That's the times in which we live. People have cell phones. People have cameras." Tyreek, you're not that smart, dude. You're not that smart. Let me continue. And I'm still quoting him. "But at the end of the day, I'm human." Okay, so that condones for what you did or didn't do? No, it doesn't. Still quoting. "I've got to follow rules. I've got to do what everyone else would do. Yeah, the right thing." End quote, by the way. Not the right thing. That was me. Let me go back to what I said, just so you guys don't interject what I said into what he said. And I'm quoting Tyreek Hill. "I've got to follow the rules. I've got to do what everyone else would do." End quote. Yeah, like do what normal people would do. Hello? It's not that hard to follow, dude. It's not that difficult. Let me continue. He went on to say, and I quote, "At the end of the day, I wish I could go back and do things a bit differently." End quote. Oh, now hindsight's 2020. What, you didn't get that when you got your driver's license years ago? You didn't understand that when a police officer pulls you over and they ask you to step out of the car, you do? Now, just to follow up on all of this with Tyreek Hill, he wasn't arrested. The only reason why they handcuffed him is because he was not cooperating with the police, and they had to handcuff him so he wouldn't do something that they weren't prepared for. I mean, they don't know. They don't know what could possibly happen. So they had to diffuse the possible situation. Once they got things straightened out and all of that, then they let him go, and he got cited for reckless driving or speeding, one of the two. Okay, that was it. But they had to handcuff him because he was not cooperating. I've never been handcuffed by the police, and like I said, I've been pulled over by Caucasian people as well as African American police officers, and I've always done what they said, and I've never been handcuffed. Okay, I mean, it just isn't it common sense? Isn't it common sense? That's all I'm saying. I mean, it just seems simple to me. Roll your window down, get out of the car. You know why we pulled you over? Not really. Well, you were speeding. All right, just sit down over here. Oh, by the way, they asked him to sit down too when they got him out of the car. He wouldn't sit down. So that's why they put him down on the ground. Yeah, they had to do what they had to do to neutralize the situation. And then he comes along and says, well, they beat me like a dog. They didn't beat him at all. Look at the video, guys. They didn't beat him at all. He's manufacturing these accusations that aren't true. Now, I will defend anybody that that I feel is in the right. I don't feel Tyreek Hill is in the right here, because when you're manufacturing and making things up that didn't happen, no, they didn't beat him. They didn't hit him. They didn't throw him on the ground. I mean, none of that happened. None of that happened. And yeah, if they're going to be aggressive to pull you out of the car because they don't know what you have, are you reaching for a weapon? They don't know. They are completely oblivious. The police are officers, I should say, not oblivious, but completely unaware of what could happen. So they have to protect themselves. And then once they do, then they can get to the real subject and the topic of why they pulled you over and all of that. Okay. All Tyreek Hill had to do, well, like you said, I just wish I could go back and do things differently. You should have thought at the beginning. Tap. Hello. Can you roll your window down? Sure, no problem. Should have it rolled down already, and your hands on the steering wheel. Okay. That's what I've always learned. Tyreek, are you ever going to learn? Are you ever going to learn? All right. Let's go to the third jackass of the week, and here is the intro.
You suck, you jackass.
All right. This one's difficult to bring because it involves one of my favorite Denver Bronco players of all time. They should have retired his number when he went into the Hall of Fame. I mentioned this last week. Should have retired him when he went into the Hall of Fame. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's a a three-time Super Bowl champion. 2 for the Denver Broncos, 1 for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm talking about none other than number 84, Shannon Sharpe. Yes, that Shannon Sharpe is the third jackass of the week. Now, how I define jackass of the week normally is players or people who do things knowingly and willingly, and they still are jackass of the week because they're not using their head. They're not being smart. They're being stupid. In this case, I had to include Shannon Sharpe as a jackass of the week because of some of the things that he says in regards to what happened just doesn't make sense to me. Just doesn't make sense. And when it doesn't make sense, and there's something, this isn't illegal in and of its own merit. It's not illegal, but anyways, let me get to and you guys decide for yourself. But I included him as the jackass of the week because of some of the things, like I mentioned, just doesn't add up. All right, here it is. All right. Former Denver Broncos Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famer is in the social media, but not in a good way. A video surfaced last Wednesday that Sharpe was embarrassed about. A video Shannon Sharpe's embarrassed about? All right, here we go. He said, and I quote, "Obviously, I'm embarrassed. I'm someone that is extremely, extremely private, and to have one of your most intimate details be audio heard for the entire world to hear is embarrassing." End quote. What the heck is he talking about? Well, let me get into that. While the video didn't show anything, Sharpe's 3.4 million followers could hear moaning and sounds that alluded to an intimate act. Okay. Why is his phone on? What's going on here? Let me continue. Sharpe explained what he feels happened, and all by accident. Really? All right. I quote Shannon Sharpe. I came in through my phone on the bed, engaged in a sexual activity. Okay. I did not know Instagram Live. I've never been on Instagram Live. I've never turned on Instagram Live. So I don't know how it works. End quote. Sharpe said he is Sharp said he is didn't know how to. Is in charge of his accounts, but thankfully his assistant was able to turn it off. Whoa, assistant? What assistant? When did that happen? Okay, let me ask you guys this question. I've never been on Instagram. Something I don't do. I'm very rarely on any social media other than my show and things with MHRT Network and my channel. He says he threw his phone on the bed and all of a sudden Instagram Live comes on. Really? So I talked to Madungus Creevy and I said, hey, bud, I said, when you throw your phone on the bed or on the couch or whatever, does Instagram automatically just come on live? I go, how does that work? And he goes, well, what you have to hit live, then you got to hit live again. Then there's some other thing. Are you sure you want to do this? And you hit live again. Say, hey, so you can't throw it on the bed and have it come on live unless it's already on. What? But Shannon Sharp says I've never done Instagram Live. I don't know anything about the first thing about how to get on Instagram Live. Well, somebody did, and somebody does, and that phone was on, and the audio was broadcast to 3.4 million followers, and you hear these sounds of moaning and groaning or whatever in a sexual act. And Shannon Sharp claims he does not know anything about it. First, let me go back. First, he claimed that his phone was hacked. Then he came back and said, no, that's not true. I got to tell you the truth. This is what happened. And that's what I read. Accident? I find that very, very, very hard to believe. That's why I put him in here as the third jackass of the week. Because if it's a true accident, you wouldn't be in this jackass of the week. But talking to Madungus Creevy, who says you cannot throw your phone down like that and have it automatically come on if you're not even in the app, if you're not even ready to go live, whatever. That'd be like me going live on my show by throwing my phone down and having it come on when I'm not even in the setup. I'm not even in the app. That just doesn't sound right. Something's wrong here. Shannon, be honest. All you got to do is come out and say, hey, man, you know what? I had it on. I thought it'd be kind of cool and stuff. I didn't really realize that it would turn into this, that, or the other, whatever. Really? Just be honest. Come out and just say it. Don't sit there and go, oh, I just tossed it on the bed and it just came on. I don't know how that happened. I've never been on Instagram in my life. I've never been on Instagram Live. I don't know how all this works. Oh, but my assistant was able to turn it off. Okie dokie. Shannon, I love you, man. You were awesome in Super Bowl 32 and 33. You're amazing in that Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game with that catch up on your shoulder like that propelled the Broncos to win that game and go into the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I don't get these guys. I really don't. Do they miss the limelight that much of being in the NFL, the spotlight? Do they miss it that much that they got to go and do things like this and say it was an accident? Then I'm totally embarrassed. These guys, they don't think ahead. They really don't think ahead. It's all about right now. Right now. Not, hey, you know what? If I do this, what are the ramifications? What are the implications? What are the consequences? I don't think they think that far ahead. I really don't. I really, really don't. All right, guys, I'm going to back out of the Jackass of the Week and then go into the very next topic. So here we go.
You suck, you jackass.
All right. This is a very, very sad note. Very sad note. Don't have a whole lot of information about what happened, what transpired. I really don't. But I'm gonna give you what I do have. All right. Former Broncos linebacker and Super Bowl 32 champion Alan Aldridge has passed away. That's sad. He can't be that old. let's see, it was Super Bowl 32 was in 1997. So we got 97, 2007, 2017. So what are we talking? 27 years? And let's say he was 30. Let's just say he was 30. I don't know. During that Super Bowl. Okay, so that would be 57. That's young. I'm just saying if he was. Okay, there didn't say an age. No age was given and no cause of death was revealed. Aldridge was a solid linebacker and very much a part of the Broncos' first Super Bowl title. Alan, you will be missed. Rest in peace. Absolutely. Man, I'll tell you what, like I said, I don't know how old he was. I could probably look it up and all that, but man, what a sad situation. No cause of death. Don't know what happened, what the issue was. Have no idea. But it's still extremely, extremely sad that a former Bronco legend, on that wonderful, wonderful, outstanding Broncos Super Bowl 32 team. God, my heart goes out to his family, the Bronco organization, his former teammates, friends, family, all that. Very, very sad. Alan Aldridge passed away at a very, very tender age. Not exactly knowing the age, but very, very tender. All right, let's get into a couple of Sean Payton topics, and here they are. We are moving on. All right. It's under Sean Payton. Denver needs to be better. Yeah, you think so? Absolutely, we need to be better. Here we go. After the Broncos lost to Seattle, Sean Payton said, and I quote, "The Broncos need to be better around rookie quarterback Bo Nix." End quote. Okay, that's true. But Bo Nix needs to be better too. Bo Nix needs to, not throw the ball into double coverage or triple coverage because that's just stupid. Throw the ball away, run out of the pocket. You can do that, Bo. Hello, you can do that. You can roll out of the pocket, get outside the hash marks, and then throw the ball out of bounds. You can do that. It's not intentional grounding. Use your head. Okay, let me continue. Payton also said, and I quote, "We need to look at the tape and evaluate us as coaches." That's true. We've got to evaluate the run plan and why it wasn't effective. It wasn't effective because Seattle made adjustments, Sean, and you didn't. Let me continue. Still quoting Sean Payton. "It's going to be hard to play quarterback if that's the best we can do running the ball." End quote. No kidding. No freaking kidding. But the holes weren't being opened up. Seattle was plugging in like nobody's business. There was no blocking worth a dang by the interior line to open up the holes or around the edges where the wide receivers weren't getting their blocks. It was just a very, very weak and sad game plan. All right. Let me finish up this. Next up is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Russell Wilson coming back to Denver. That's true. That's very, very true. Pittsburgh has a really good defense. And so does Seattle, apparently. But Pittsburgh only got 6 field goals against Atlanta, and Atlanta wasn't that good of a team. I mean, Kirk Cousins looked pathetic in that game. And Atlanta, even though they were ahead at points in time in the game, they just couldn't sustain it. And then Pittsburgh just rolled past them. Is that going to happen this coming Sunday in Denver? I don't know. I'll get to that at the end of the show, what I think and feel. But I'll tell you something right now. If Denver plays like they did against Seattle, they're going to be 0-2. That's for doggone sure. There's no two ways about it. You play like that against a Pittsburgh Steelers team, yeah, you're going to get run out of Mile High Stadium. No question asked. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right. Now, here's the second part of the Sean Payton topic, and that's about admitting failure. Yes, Sean Payton did admit some failure on his part, and we'll get into that right now. We don't need to do an update because it's in the same topic. All right, here we go. It seems that Denver Broncos head coach Sean Payton got out-coached last Sunday at Seattle. No doubt about it. Definitely got out-coached. Absolutely. No two ways about it. He even admitted. Let me continue. Sean Payton said the buck stops with the head coach, especially when it comes to game planning and play calling. I quote, "We have to ask ourselves, if we played it again, what would we have done different? Probably a whole lot of things done different, like not throwing into double coverage and triple coverage, calling different plays that actually work. Not ones that don't, but ones that do work." All right. Still quoting Sean Payton. There are a handful of things that I felt like I didn't do a good enough job with relative to the inner triangle as to what we were seeing. Talking about the coaches, the inner triangle, head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, that kind of thing. Or head coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach, whatever it is, whatever their triangle is. He says that he didn't do a good enough job with relative to the inner triangle as to what they were seeing. Okay, then why didn't you make adjustments? Why didn't you make adjustments? He says, I didn't do a good enough job. Well, no kidding. Of course you didn't. And I'm starting to wonder, has the game passed Sean Payton by? Because this looked bad last year, and I know people said, well, that was because of Russell Wilson. Well, we have a rookie head coach. A rookie quarterback, and still making the same mistakes. Still making the same game plan, the same type of, let's run the ball first, and then we'll just pass. We'll dink and dunk it, and then we'll just move down the field. It doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. There's no Marvin Mims. He's not around for whatever reason. We're not getting the ball deep enough to Velli. We need to have him open it up a little bit. Cortland Sutton. I mean, we don't have the playmakers that we need. But that's beside the point. You need to make things work. If you don't have playmakers, then make adjustments. Make play calls and design play calls that are in the best interest of what your wide receivers do. Whether it be a wide receiver, a tight end, a running back, whatever it is, make adjustments to fit what they do best into the game plan. Don't try and mold Cortland Sutton around your own self there, Sean Payton. Make your play calls to better suit Cortland Sutton or Marvin Mims or Velli or anybody else. You need to make game plans around them, not mold them around what you want. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, so to speak. It's tough to do. When Cortland Sutton's been doing whatever he's been doing his whole career, all of a sudden you want him to change to fit your scheme? It doesn't work that way. You have to get the best out of your receivers, and the way you do that is you put them in a situation to succeed, not to fail. And that's what it looked like last Sunday, Sean. It looked like you put these guys in a situation to fail. Now, let me continue, because he admitted, like I mentioned, he made mistakes. Let me continue. Payton has to find a way to capitalize on opponents' early mistakes, and he can never afford to get outcoached again. Absolutely. Cannot afford to get outcoached. He clearly got outcoached this past Sunday. And he's not getting any easier going against Pittsburgh. That's for sure. Not when you got a veteran head coach who knows how to win, who knows how to get the best out of his players. Sean Payton better be ready, and he cannot get outcoached in this game against Pittsburgh. If he does, it's going to be a long season, guys. It's going to be a very, very long season, because there are seasoned coaches out there that know how to get the best out of their players and how to make adjustments at halftime or even during the game. Sean Payton had better do the same, make adjustments, not get out coached. All right. Kamani says, if the Broncos lose and go 0-2, do you see them missing the playoffs? Well, if we keep playing like we have, Kamani, I mean, if we play as bad as we did against Seattle, and what I mean by as bad as we did, where throwing into double coverage, triple coverage, having interceptions, not being able to run the ball, not being able to make adjustments at halftime and all that. Yeah. And we go 0-2. I don't see us making the playoffs. And I know it's early. I know that 2 losses doesn't make a season, but it's the repetition of doing the same thing. That's where it's going to be ugly. And I was talking to Madungus Creevy before the show, and I said to him, I said, Okay, we're 0-1. What if we go 0-2? He says, you know, if it looks this bad after week 6, then that's a Sean Payton issue. Well, I'm starting to think it's a Sean Payton issue now because he didn't make adjustments. That's not anybody else but Sean Payton. That's totally on his shoulders. And if the Broncos come out and look ugly and flat and can't do anything against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we go 0-2, then yeah, that's on Sean Payton. And I mean, short of changing head coaches, I don't know what changes. And that's not where I want us to be. Is it a Sean Payton problem? Sure looks like it to me. Because how do you not have all this experience and then just have a brain fart and not know what to do at halftime and make adjustments? Is his ego so big that he's like, we don't need to make adjustments. We're cool. He's a rookie head coach. We got this thing. No, you didn't. And he outsmarted you, and you took the bait, Sean. You literally took the bait. If that happens against the Steelers, I'm with you, Kamani. I'm not sure we make the playoffs. Because we still got the Ravens to play this season. We still got the Chiefs twice, the Chargers twice, the Raiders twice. I mean, we got Cleveland. We got New Orleans. Now New Orleans didn't look that good, but Sean Payton be going back to New Orleans, so that's going to be emotional. We have Atlanta. Atlanta didn't look that good, but you just never know. You never know what's going to happen down the road. You know, I mean, it's going to be tough, guys. It's not going to be easy. But we cannot start out 0-2 because that's going to look a whole heck of a lot like last season. Absolutely like last season. All right, Kamani follows up by saying, what Sean Payton's taking blame all out is it is the end of the world. He took blame, so to speak, by saying us coaches. So it's not just him. He's talking about, the other coaches as well. So, I mean, he kind of took blame. I'll give him that. He did own up a little, said he didn't make, didn't adjust correctly and all that. No kidding. But he should not even had to come down to that. He should not even had to make that comment, that statement, because it never should have been in that position. Broncos never should have been in that position to have to, apologize, so to speak, or take blame for getting out coached. It should never been in that position. All right, we're going to jump over the Watson lawsuit, and we're going to go right into the Hall of Fame because I already did the NFL investigation under the Deshaun Watson topic. So let's go right into the Hall of Fame. And here we go. All right. There are 7 former Bronco players that are considered or have been nominated to be in the Hall of Fame. Let me run down those players. There's a couple on the bubble that I'm not really agreeing with, but the seven that are mentioned that were nominated, I totally agree with them. So here it is. Looking towards the class of 2025 Hall of Fame, there are 7 Ring of Famers of the Broncos on that list. They are wide receiver Lionel Taylor and Rick Upchurch, defensive end Rich Jackson, linebacker Tom Jackson and Carl Mecklenburg, safety Dennis Smith, and cornerback Louis Wright. Now, let me talk about them before I go into 4 more. Lionel Taylor, okay, that's a good one. Rick Upchurch, absolutely. Rich Jackson, I don't remember a defensive end Rich Jackson, but I do know linebacker Tom Jackson. Now, Tom Jackson definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Totally definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Carl Mecklenburg, no doubt about it. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Dennis Smith, Louis Wright, absolutely. Both of those need to be in the Hall of Fame. They are outstanding Orange Crush players. And for what they did for those Denver Bronco teams to make the Super Bowl and to just, to even get to the Super Bowl, they have to be recognized. They definitely have to be recognized, and they definitely need to be in the Hall of Fame. All right. Now, former running back Sammy Winder, defensive end Lyle Alzado, wide receiver Bob Scarpetto, and linebacker Michael Dean Perry were also nominated to the candidate pool. I'm not so sure about some of those. Sammy Winder, no, I would put him on the bubble. I'd say no, not considered in my book. Lyle Alzado, I don't know. He went to the Raiders after he left Denver, and I'm not sure I'd put Lyle Alzado in the Hall of Fame. Bob Scarpetto, I have no idea who that is. He's a wide receiver. Never heard of him, honestly. I have to be honest. I never heard of him. And defensive lineman Michael Dean Perry, he was good. I wouldn't necessarily say he's Hall of Fame. Necessarily would not say he's Hall of Fame. So I really don't agree with those four, but the ones that I mentioned earlier that are candidates, yes, Tom Jackson, Carl Mecklenburg, Dennis Smith, and Louis Wright, Rick Upchurch for sure. Rich Jackson and Lionel Taylor, all right, not so much. But the other two, 100% totally agree with. Totally agree with. All right. Before I get into the last topic and wrap up the show, let's get back into the chat. D-Rock is in the chat, says Big Bill. I say, what's up, Big D-Rock? Going on to Kamani says, Rich Jackson. No, I agree. I wouldn't put him in there either. And Kamani also says the last four, not yet. I totally agree. That'd be Sammy Winder, Lyle Alzado, Bob Scarpetto, and Michael Dean Perry. I totally agree. No, not yet. Those four don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame as of yet. Maybe down the road, look at some, different stats or whatever. But no, I don't agree with them being in the Hall of Fame at all whatsoever. All right. We're going to get to the last topic of the show. Thanks once again, each and every one of you that are in the chat, as well as watching and or listening wherever you may be. Thank you so much for being here on a very busy Friday evening of things that you guys have going on, weekend ahead and all that. Thank you once again for being part of the show. Really, really do appreciate it. All right. Last topic is the Broncos at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get right to it. All right. The Denver Broncos are going to have their first home game this Sunday, 2 days from today, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are 1-0. They beat the Atlanta Falcons last week, and the Denver Broncos lost to Seattle 26-20. Broncos come home to play their very first home opener of this young season, and Russell Wilson is coming back to Denver. Will Russell Wilson play? I don't know. He has a calf injury, but he said he really does want to play. He wants to play against the Broncos. He wants to prove a point that the Broncos should never cut him, that he is not the problem in Denver, and he wants to make that statement himself as the Steeler quarterback. We'll find out. I don't know if he's going to be able to play. We'll find out. Kamani says, before we get into Kamani says, Bill, you, me, Mike, and Clayton, we should be in the Hall of Fame. I agree. Well, I'm not so sure about myself, but hey, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much. But Madungas, Clayton, and yourself, yeah, absolutely. You guys need to be in the Hall of Fame. Kamani follows that up by saying Broncos 23, Steelers 19. Okay. You got a 4-point win there. All right. Well, let's see what I think. Let's see what numbers I come up with. Here we go. In the game at Seattle, Denver was a 5.5-point underdog. Well, against the Steelers at home, Denver is 2.5-point underdogs. Basically, the Broncos are really a 5.5-point underdogs because they get a 3 points for being home. So you got 5.5 minus 3, 2.5. So the Broncos basically are a 5.5 underdog, just like they were in Seattle. It drops down to 2.5 because of the 3 points that the odds makers give for a home team, because you're home, you got the home fans behind you, They're loud when the opponents have the ball, all that kind of thing. So the NFL bookies give every home team 3 points for being home. So 5.5 minus 3, 2.5. All right, here we go. Do I feel Denver can win this game? Yes, I do feel Broncos can win this game. If and only if they don't play like they did against Seattle Seahawks. You cannot have turnovers. You cannot have stupid penalties. You cannot throw in the double and triple coverage and expect not to have it intercepted. You can't do that. Rookie mistake, yes. That was last week. You can't have that same rookie mistake mentality in this game. Seattle's defense is Steelers' defense is much better than Seattle's. Now, can the Broncos defense stop the Steelers offense? I don't know. Is the Broncos defense better than Atlanta's? I would hope so. Atlanta only allowed 6 field goals. They lost, but they only allowed 6 field goals. No touchdowns. Can the Broncos duplicate what Atlanta did, but win the game? Well, I don't know, because I don't know what Broncos offense we're going to see. Are we going to see a Broncos offense that looked fantastic in preseason? Oh, by the way, that was against the 2s and the 3s, not against the 1s. Like I mentioned last week, I said the Broncos were going to lose last week 24-20. They lost 26-20. I was 2 points away from being exact. Why? Because I had a gut feeling that it was going to be jitters. He was going to be nervous. He was going to make mistakes. I was hoping he wouldn't, but he did. Is he going to duplicate and make those same mistakes against the Steelers? Very well could. Steelers defensive coordinator could bait him into that. They could totally bait him into that. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. And I even said when I did my prediction show with Eric Qualls that I felt that the Broncos would rebound after losing to Seattle, because I did say they would lose. After losing to Seattle, I said, but the Broncos coming home, that Bo Nix should be a little bit more relaxed, got the home crowd behind him, not being loud, not being, boisterous and whatnot when the Broncos have the ball, like in Seattle, but being more quiet, allowing him to kind of settle in. And that when the Broncos are on defense, that the crowd was going to be extremely loud on the Steelers. Now, that being said, there is going to be some negative noise when the Broncos have the ball. Why? Because Pittsburgh Steelers fans travel. You're going to see the terrible towels being waved in Broncos in Broncos Stadium, in Maha Stadium. You're going to see it. I don't want to see it, but you're going to see it because the Pittsburgh Steelers travel and the stupid Broncos fans sell them their tickets because they're idiots. Don't do that. Don't sell it to the enemy. Hang on to your tickets. Don't get rid of them. Show up to the game. Support the Broncos. Support the team. Support the season. Support Bo Nix. Don't sell your freaking tickets. Don't do it. Steeler fans will buy them up by the thousands. Don't do it. But they're going to be there. So just know that Bo Nix is going to get some noise when he's got the ball. He just cannot cave in to what he thinks he sees and then being baited into horrible decisions. Sean Payton has to be better at game plan, at the play, play calling. What he needs to see is what he does, not what he thinks he sees, but what he really sees. He needs to make adjustments at halftime. Even if the Broncos are ahead. I don't care if the Broncos are ahead 17-0, 14-3, make adjustments. Because they are. If a team's trailing at halftime, they're making adjustments. And Seattle trailed at halftime in Seattle, and they made adjustments. Sean Payton didn't. You cannot get caught up in that trap that says, well, we got the lead. We don't need to make adjustments. We're doing everything's fine. BS. Because they're going to make adjustments, and now you're caught flat-footed. Cannot happen again against the Steelers. Steelers are a much better coached team than Seattle was with a first-year head coach. Pittsburgh doesn't have a first-year head coach. They have a solid head coach. And Sean Payton needs to make adjustments. Bo Nix needs to not be Bo Nix of last week. He needs to be Bo Nix of the preseason but against the ones. He needs to be better. He needs to make smarter moves. Throw the ball away. Live to make another play. Live to do another play. Don't be foolish in what you're doing and your decision making, because that's how Denver's going to lose this game. If Bo Nix does the same kind of thing he did against Seattle, Denver will lose this game. However, I have the Broncos winning this game at home, season opener in Denver, 2017. Denver 20, Steelers 17. Broncos win it on a late fourth quarter field goal when the game was tied 17-17. That's what I think. That's what I feel. That's what I hope happens. So let's just hope that takes place. Let's just hope that takes place. Kamani says, if the offense kills time and let the defense rest, then we should win. Well, we have to do that. We couldn't do it against Seattle because we couldn't run the ball. And when we couldn't run the ball, they knew we had to throw it. And therefore, you're one-dimensional. You're one-dimensional. Kamani says, bring on the Steelers fans. I don't like that. I don't like it when visiting fans invade Mile High Stadium. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, because we're a better fan base than that. We're not the Chargers. We're not the Chargers so-called fans who really aren't fans because they don't show up to their games. No, they don't. I've been there. I've been to Carson. I've been to Qualcomm Stadium. They don't show up. But Broncos fans do. And Broncos fans need to show up at Mile High Stadium. Do not let Steelers fans in the freaking stadium. Don't do it. Don't allow it. This is our stadium. This is our city. This is our team. This is our state. Don't let Steelers fans in Mile High. Now, I know some are going to trickle in and some are going to get in under a different disguise or something or whatever. Don't make it a lot. Keep it to a minimum. Keep it to a freaking minimum. Don't allow it. Please don't allow it. All right. Kamani says the wide receivers need to catch the ball. Yeah, no doubt. But it's kind of hard to catch the ball when you're double and triple covered. But if somebody's double or triple covered, that means somebody's open somewhere else. Bo Nix needs to see that. He's not seeing that. It seemed to me he locked into those receivers where he threw those interceptions, and that can't happen. We cannot allow that. That cannot happen, period. You see triple coverage, check down, look to somebody else. Look to your running back. Look to your tight end. Look to your second receiver. Whatever case may be, don't throw the ball into triple coverage or double coverage, all right? Just don't do it, Bo. Don't do it at all. All right, guys, before I get out of here, I want to go back to the chat, and I want to just thank each and every one of you for being in there. Whether you're in the chat or you're watching and listening, I'm only going down the ones in the chat because those are the only ones I see. But I thank all of you for being part of the show, whether you participate in the chat or you just participate by being watching or listening and just being there. I really do appreciate it. Let's go down the list real quick. Clayton Huron, thank you so much for batting leadoff. Kamani Dixon batting second. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much. D-Rock, as always, batting third. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it, guys. You guys are the best. I've said that many, many times. It's just a pleasure to always see familiar names. I would say faces, but I haven't seen any faces. So familiar names in the chat. And just know that you guys are there supporting and really do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so, so very much. All right. Let me back out of this. I got to keep remembering to do this on the last one. Guys, once again, thank you so very, very much for being in the chat. Let's see if I can kill this hide. Okay, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. All right, guys. Before I get out of here, just remember that Broncos Neighborhood will be this Sunday. The Broncos home opener. Madungus Creevy and myself will be doing the Broncos Neighborhood. That starts at 105 Pacific. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, depending on what area what time zone you're in. And really do appreciate you guys stopping in on the neighborhood. It's going to be fun, like always. And you never know what you're going to see or hear. So that's always fun. And then Monday through Friday of next week, we have shows every day of the week, Monday through Friday. and check out whichever one you like on the MHRT network. Check them out. I'm pretty sure you'll find one that you like. My show again next Friday. Hopefully I've got a good recap on a Bronco win this coming Sunday. But regardless, I will be doing my show this coming Friday, and it will be live 5, 6, 7, and 8, wherever you may be. Excuse me. Thank you guys so very, very much once again. Have a fantastic Friday night, a wonderful weekend, and let's go Broncos. Let's beat the Steelers. Let's get a game win at home. Till then, guys, till this Sunday on Broncos Neighborhood, take care. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.